Hi, welcome back to another edition of Sling Paint Gaming.
Oh, hi.
Holy crap, look who it is. Nims is back.
Back.
And we also got our special guest, Blake. What's up, Blake?
Not much.
Not much?
Happy to be here.
Yes, same here. So, I was a little upset I couldn't go, but you guys went to the North Carolina Regionals in Raleigh-Durham and Atomic Empire, right? And we're actually here at Play It Again in Concord, North Carolina. We got a bunch of players ready to play the X-Wing.
Yep. Looks like 4 or 5 tables set up tonight.
Nice.
So should be a good showing.
And you guys are going to, later, we're going to also do a rematch, which we'll get into a little bit why we're going to do a rematch.
There's a story behind this one.
There's a big story behind that. All right.
I like the ending.
You like the ending?
I don't, personally.
Well,
spoiler.
Right. So, North Carolina Regionals, Atomic Empire.
Yep.
Saturday was last week, was November 8th, 9th, whatever it was. 13th.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, that's right. 13th and the 14th.
12th and 13th.
It was a 2-day event, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, 12th and 13th, because this little article in front of me was posted shortly after midnight.
Okay. All right. So with that, you guys actually, so I want to basically just go down the rundown. And you, Blake, you did a fabulous article. You posted up on Sling Paint.
That's a really nice write-up.
Yeah, the link is actually below in the description of this video and stuff, so you guys can take a look at that.
Yeah, go check that out. I tried really hard to make sure I highlighted what I did right, what I did wrong. Okay. I just went over the whole day.
If I just tell you what I did, will you write it up? Because I'm way too lazy to do that.
You know, that took me about 3 hours to compile.
Yeah, see, I'm just not going to do that.
That's a lot of information.
I'm gonna talk about it here and then tell everybody, and then.
I was hopping between the list juggler, this article in front of us, and the event thing that they gave us at the thing, so I could keep track of what was going on throughout the day.
Okay.
All right, and we got a bunch of people already on. Cosmic Jello. Congrats to the finish, Nims. Seamus is on. What's up, Seamus?
Cafe Coupon, hello. I know who you are.
The Cafe Coupon.
Yes.
We know who the Cafe Coupon is.
Yes.
And Dan's on as well. What's up? All right, and Nims, long time no see. Yes, yes, we know.
Back.
He is back.
Back in the saddle.
I was not a suitable replacement.
And Seamus,
but thank you for filling in while I was practicing. So, hey.
And Seamus does say, Blake, that was an awesome write-up. Again, the link is below this video. We got a couple links in here. We actually got the link to List Juggler for all the regional events, so you can actually see the matches and stuff. Then we got Blake's Battle Report. We also have, which will bring up all these different things, Not Such a Bad Pilot myself did a great write-up on all the List Juggler data and showing the squad meta types and what have you.
Yeah, and it's all from the North Carolina Regional, so it's showing pretty much what the top 16 list, right?
No, this was every build that went 4 and 2 or better.
4 and 2 or better, okay. So any positive list.
Yeah, which was, I think, roughly the top 28, top 26 of the whole of it.
We can look on List Juggler and be able to tell us.
So, the interesting, but before we get into lists and all that stuff, John Best says, "Howdy guys, had a store championship 2 weeks ago in Phoenix. I placed top 16
nice.
out of 150 people.
Oh, that's a good turnout.
That's
yeah,
a great
we only
turnout.
had 77.
77, which is still a good turnout.
It is, and actually we started off. I think they said there was only 74.
We had 75 originally,
and so that means it would have been a cut to top 8, and then 2 more people showed up last minute.
Also, that was the last minute rejuggling.
Yeah,
that was like extremely last minute. Like they had already made the pairings.
Yeah,
when
like
these
we were getting ready to
came
sit
in.
down. I was getting ready to play Justin.
Oh,
and then
that's
all of
right.
a sudden they say, "Oh wait, we got to change up all the pairings. 2 more people joined." So then they changed it. We actually got to cut to top 16, which I'm very glad they did because then you got to play and.
Yep, and also just so FYI, the links to the streams from Twitch from Atomic Empire are also in the description below. So you guys can see all the Twitch. They are going to put it on YouTube. So when it does go on YouTube, we'll share the videos on our website and what have you. So let's get right into this.
Okay.
What I wanted to do was, I wasn't there, and I was getting the updates, and I was updating everybody else on Facebook as you guys were texting me. I had Blake texting me, I had you texting me. I think even Ryan a couple texts. I mean, John was hitting me up. Everybody was hitting me up saying give me the updates.
And everybody that was there that watches our show was asking where you were.
Yeah,
really?
Where's
That's
Birdo?
awesome. Where's Birdo? Yeah. So.
That's awesome. I
mean,
appreciate
the
it.
stories I was coming up with to tell them why you weren't there were pretty phenomenal. I'm not
Was there a
gonna
bear
lie.
and a naked lady involved?
I mean,
or anything?
you got sold into sex slavery, and I mean a couple other things.
The excuse I gave all day was his wife would kill him.
Yes. So that's the reason why I didn't go, because the weekend before was Worlds.
Right.
So, All right, so first, let's go right into Atomic Empire. Atomic Empire, beautiful store.
Yeah, huge
store.
Yep.
And they got beer.
And they do have beer.
They do have
beer.
beer.
Is nice there.
Yep. Ryan is over there nodding.
Yeah,
Ryan. They have beer.
You guys know who Ryan is. Ryan is a guest speaker here. And Ryan, I think after fourth round became beer wing for him.
After the second
second round.
After the second round, Ryan was playing beer wing.
Oh,
He went
jeez.
2-0 and then decided to celebrate with a bunch of beer.
And it just kind
And it just went downhill from there?
Just went so downhill.
He went
from
from
there.
what, 12th to 50th.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get right into this because I keep on – so much to
right.
talk about. Round one, let's start with Blake. What'd you pair up against?
Round one, it was against the list. Again, it's in the battle report. It was a Triple T 70 list with PS8 Poe Dameron.
Really?
And 9 with Snapshot and R3A2.
Okay.
And then there was Jess Pava in there.
Ooh, the
And
Jess Pava.
It's
of
actually the
Jesses.
guy that I played against was a regular viewer of Sling Paint.
Oh, okay.
And lo and behold, he was kind of starstruck because he saw the T-shirt underneath me.
Oh, you had the T-shirt? Nice.
So it was a good game for me.
For All right, so give some details. Was it just like so what did you play, Blake? What was your list?
My list was Kanan and Biggs. Kanan this time had Cebarelios on board with Rex Beck.
Okay.
Auto Blaster turret. I'm having to go over here. Fire control system, the Ghost Title,
Okay.
and Tactical Jammer. We have Big Starguard with R2D2 and integrated Ashbeck, and the attached shuttle was Harrison Dolan with the Title 9 Veteran Instincts. So a really scary shuttle late game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that list is nasty, and it's always given us problems every time we've played that against that list. No matter what we do, what we throw up against it, he's got answers for everything, pretty much.
That's the power of playing a list repeatedly.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
and learning the ins and outs of it. So,
So all right. So like, was it? Did you table him? How'd you do? Did he get any
I
ghost
nearly
action?
tabled him.
Okay.
Basically, he misjudged where I was going to go.
Okay.
So his ships were not pointing the right direction at the very beginning of the combat round, at the very first round of combat.
Okay. Oh.
And Poe went off the board within 1 round.
No.
Yeah, I
blew
got
off or blew off?
no, like blew off.
Oh,
Okay.
blew up. Okay.
Yeah,
I just flew up.
Poe
Okay.
blew off that board. He got range 1 of the ghost. So 5 dice, they all hit.
5 dice are nasty. Plus with your
He rolled 1 of 8. Then the auto blaster came through and finished him because he had auto thrusters.
ooh, and so the auto
Range one,
blaster
that
kind
doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
And he never really fully recovered from there. 9 went down 2 rounds afterwards to about the same thing.
Okay.
And then just Pava was the one left. And Biggs, by this point, had a shield and a hole left.
And you had R2D2
already ejected
on-
R2D2.
Yeah. Oh, you already ejected it, so that's
Yeah, so he had a
jettison.
shield and a hole.
Okay.
So that was one of those little finicky things.
Okay.
So I was pretty much playing chicken with Biggs, flying him away. I flew the
Trying to
ghost.
keep him alive.
Yeah, and I
Did
flew
you
the ghost over to
undock the
corner
shuttle
and
at all?
ejected Hera, and Hera went down and finished Jess Pava, but not before Jess took Biggs down.
Okay.
So it was a 100-29 victory for me in the first round, which is a
Pretty good.
very good start for the day.
All right, good. All right, so what was your first match, Joe?
So my first match was against a guy named Joseph. So it was Battle of the Joes.
The Battle of the Joes.
Really nice guy. He had a pretty cool magnet mod. He was flying Ventress with
Oh, that's the one you were telling me
IG-88C.
about.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he had a little magnetic mod on the bottom of his Shadowcaster that he could just snap his mobile firing arc into whatever position it needed to be in.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool.
That's
I took
really
some
neat.
pictures. I'll throw them up on the forums.
Okay.
So I was flying the Commonwealth Defenders, which is Carniversary, Ryad, and the Palp Shuttle.
Mm-hmm.
X7 title on both Defenders, Push the Limit, and tie Mark II, right,
right.
on Ryad, and Juke on Vessi,
On Vessi,
with
yeah.
collision detector on the shuttle.
Okay.
So, and with debris. So debris doesn't mean anything to my shuttle except for stress.
So
which
you
is
were
kinda
running
nice.
the... Oh, nice.
So,
Okay.
pretty much, I used Jeremy Howard's kind of openings that you
So-
told me about at Worlds, which is we'll get into it later.
Yeah.
Don't spoil that yet. So pretty much what I did was I stalled and made him come to me.
Mm-hmm.
He came in with IG pretty fast, and he was bringing Ventress down around the outside of the board,
Okay.
trying to circle around. I bumped his IG with the shuttle and kind of trapped him there for a second while the defenders came in and and lit him up. And then it was kind of a bump fest for the 3 ships. I would block with Ryad, he would hit with IG, and then I couldn't get out of the way with Vessery, so there was no fire, no fire, no fire. Finally, the IG broke free, my defenders lit him up, and then it was just a matter of chasing down Ventress. And I
Ventress
wanna
is hard
say,
to chase down,
I
too.
want to say he got half points on the shuttle.
Okay.
But I can't honestly remember.
Okay.
Throughout the day, the most I ever lost was, except for the one match I lost, I
Right.
either lost half of the shuttle or the shuttle, and in one match I lost Vessery.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a fun match. It wasn't something that I've really flown against here in our local meta, but having flown Ventress, I knew what to look out for. I purposely did not use push the limit on Ryad because of black market slicer tools.
And did he have Latsrazi on the caster or no?
No, and he didn't have title either, which I think kind of hurt him because I kept expecting him to tractor beam me, and he didn't have the title.
Okay.
There was plenty of times where it would have definitely come into his favor.
The place you were right on a rock or debris. or
Well, yeah,
something.
debris or just move me out of a firing arc.
Okay.
So, but that was the first match. It went obviously it went well for me.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a good game.
All right. So now you guys are both one and
I
all.
found the name of the guy, James Dietz. We were talking to his brother before we started that day.
That's right. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. We
James
met them
Dietz.
last year at regionals.
Yeah,
too. Him and
he
his
is
brother.
him and his brother are regular viewers. If you guys are watching, hello, thank you for watching.
Yep. What about? All right. So round 2. You guys are both 1-0 going into round 2.
Yep.
So Blake, what do you got round 2?
Let's see. What I had round 2 is I had Jeremy M. He was a top 16 finisher at the last regional at Atomic Empire, and he had himself a janky list. It was Forlom, the pilot Forlom.
Wait, is that Jeremy? Like Jeremy Mesout, the Colorado crew, Jeremy?
No.
Oh,
This is Jeremy
Another
from
Jeremy. yeah.
Justin, you're thinking of.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Too many people.
Too many J's.
Jays. No, he had the pilot Forlom with Rage and Latsrazi with Collision Detector and Tractor Beam with the title.
Okay.
He had Manaru with Bosk and not Snapshot, Trick Shot.
Trick shot. Okay.
And Asajj Ventress with Lancer and with just Fearlessness.
Okay.
So the idea in this list was Asajj is supposed to assign you stress, and then Forlom, using Forlom's ability, is supposed to dump that stress onto you. Thus, you're basically getting double stressed every round onto a ship.
Well,
Right.
That's a nice thought to that list.
It was a
Okay.
really cool looking list, and when it worked because he
Okay.
could rage almost every turn.
Great.
And he's just giving you that stress.
And he's giving me the stress. The problem is that I'm flying Ghost and don't particularly care about stress.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what Tactical Jammer is there for, in case I can't really focus a cane and I can still keep Biggs tucked behind.
Yep.
And
It
we got to
goes.
shoot at Biggs and you get a free defensive dice.
Yeah.
Because
But there was also a key mistake he made, and a lot of people made this mistake. They underestimated the power of Zeb.
I'm a hit and miss with Zeb. Like I actually at Worlds I took him off because I don't know how many times Zeb hurt me.
Really?
Yeah, especially by bumping it like Fenrau. I would bump it to Fenrau.
Oh, yeah.
There's an
And
upside,
Fenrau would throw a
there's an
shitload of
upside
dice at
and
me.
downside to Zeb, and I think I erased the downside by having Big Starglider in the list.
Because I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
So
then they'd
he,
have to
he
shoot at
tried
Have
to
to
do
shoot
a
at
block
Biggs,
with Manaru, so he did a 2 talon roll,
Okay.
and then I just bumped right into her. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna shoot her now. He's like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, there's Zeb, there's Zeb right here. And it's like, you told me about it. You showed me the card, and then he showed it to me again, but it didn't register in my head that he can do
A lot,
that.
Yeah.
and every time I do play Zeb, a lot of people forget about
Yep.
that. Now
They
Zeb's
get a bump.
biggest thing with Zeb though. It's got to be in your firing
Yeah.
arc. He can't be like hitting your side. It's got to be in your
Mm-hmm.
firing arc with Zeb.
Yeah, so Manaru went down within 2 combat rounds, which I think really hurt the potential of his list.
Okay.
Because then Forlom and Asajj just weren't getting the action economy that he was needing.
Right. So we had a question. Somebody was asking for your last match. How often did 9 get to use Snapshot?
You know what? Not at all.
No.
Because I specifically made sure never to go within that range one
one.
little bubble in
Okay.
front of him.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And that was Scott. Scott said, "How often did 9-Up use Snapshot?
Now,
Love it
it
for
was,
stress."
the idea with that was the snapshot stress me.
Right.
Take a stress to give a stress. Then
Okay.
do its maneuver, and then dump the stress onto me.
Gotcha.
All right.
Okay.
So in my game here, Kanan had, I think, at one point like 7 stress tokens on him. I didn't care.
No,
I just flew.
For that build, it doesn't really matter. You can just fly whatever.
Yeah, I
you
just
want.
flew into range 1, killed 4 of them, and then I got a good couple of hits on Asajj before he conceded the game because she had like double damage. She couldn't do all her turns were red.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, I don't even have big stat. He's still at full.
Yeah, at that point, it's you're having a bad day.
Yeah, so it was a 100-23 win for me. He only got half points on the Ghost.
Okay. And what about your round 2, Joe?
First, let me say hello to Aiden. He said hello, so I have to say hello back. Thank you for watching.
Aiden. Hi, Uncle Joe.
So
is that Aiden that we all know and love?
yes, it is Aiden
Okay.
that we all know and
All
love,
right,
who
good.
has his own YouTube channel.
Yes, he does.
So my second match was against a guy by the name of Daniel, who I think is out of the Winston area.
Okay.
He was flying an interesting list that I completely underestimated. It was Dengar with 2.6 with Mangler Cannon.
Ooh,
I think
okay.
one of them had crack shot. I set up in like the left-hand corner.
Okay.
Typical shuttle cocked at like a 45-degree angle. The same general start that I was doing with the whole wait and make them come to me. The problem is I made a couple of bad choices. I K-turned Ryad going for a block. It didn't work. I ended up having no shots with her. Tried to focus Dengar down really quick and just did not fly very well. I got in my own head. I was trying to be too aggressive for what I had been practicing.
And that's the match you
And
lost, right?
That is the match I lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't lose it completely. It wasn't a complete blowout, but it was a loss nonetheless. So, but I think it's what I needed. I needed to get that one loss out of the way to get myself focused for the rest of the day.
Yeah, they always say, like, if anybody who goes ever undefeated usually never takes the top. Always like you always have to get that like one loss out of the one loss out of the way.
Well, it kind of kills some of your nerves because I don't know about you guys, but that first match, my stomach was in a knot the entire time. Like, just
even
with
like when I was at
stress.
Worlds, yeah.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I mean, like all of a sudden you're playing. I mean, after like the second or third game is when things
Yeah,
start
then
dying
you're like,
back.
okay, now
got this,
I'm good, and unless your dice are cold, but that game actually went to time because it was just the way it was.
And he beat you out on points.
And he beat me out on points.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so that was your second match.
Yep, that
so
was my
now
second match.
you're 2-0. You're 1-1.
Yep.
All right, third round. What did you play against?
Our good friend Loman.
No, did you really?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
And he had it was a very popular list archetype throughout the day.
Okay.
They have Manaru and Finn Rao, and another.
Now Loman isn't the same one that went 6-0. Was it?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
went
was,
6-0.
So
Yeah,
we
like
know
one of
we
the
know
only
what happened to me
undefeated
this
people.
round.
Yeah, exactly.
But I gave him a run. I made him work for it.
His list, I played it here in I think one of the store tournaments that we had here, or it was just
It's
local fun.
unique. It was.
Yeah.
It's a completely different list.
Finn Rao, Manaru, and Cabell.
And Cabell.
They are all 9-linked. Cabell has vector thrusters and dorsal.
Which is
Yeah.
weird to see on a Y-wing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was I underestimated that Y-wing because I
Yep.
was so concerned
And
with
what's
getting Manaru.
nasty about that
Finn
is
Rao.
you're rolling like 2 extra dice at range
4.
1. Well, I know, but extra with that dorsal turret and Cabell.
It's
Cabell
great.
gets you an extra dice. The dorsal at range 1 gets
Gives
you an extra dice.
dice.
So that thing is nasty.
And with the barrel roll that he has on it and the tiny
You can
mind
arc
link,
dodge.
he arc
Actually,
dodges.
the barrel roll, he did a barrel roll
or
with
get
Manaru.
closer into range 1.
Yeah, he did a barrel roll with Manaru in the second movement phase.
Okay.
He barrel rolled her towards me, which I did not expect at all, which completely ruined the train that I normally get going.
Yeah.
So Kanan ran into her, and then Biggs ran into her, but Biggs was not in a position to take advantage of the tactical jabber.
Ah, okay.
So that was one of the things that happened that game. And the next thing that happened is Manaru had 2 health left, and I whiffed on an auto blaster twice in a row.
That's you can
Ooh.
speak from experience on that. one.
11 times at the Worlds.
But that was the only day all day I whiffed on an auto blaster.
Never trust the dice.
Yep.
So he took the win, but I took everything but Cabell with me.
Okay.
So I lost 100-69, but
Ooh, so it was
That's
close.
not that bad of a loss.
no, that was
close.
I was playing for MOV at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so your third match. So now you're 2-1.
I'm 2-1 at this
Now
point.
you're 1-1 going
One
to
and
your
one.
third.
Yep. So my third was against a younger guy named Jude, I believe.
Okay.
Who was flying Cath Scarlet and 2 Y-wings. The paint job on these things were awesome. You guys can see it here, and I'll post a picture up on the forums as well. But Cath Scarlet, 2 Y-wings. The Y-wings had twin laser turret on them and the BTL title, which was a little confusing to me. I didn't really understand why he was going for that, but once he got into range 3 and 2, then I understood it. Oh, you're rolling 3 attacks. Now I see why you're doing it.
Yep.
Problem was against defenders, I was very easily able to get out of that just
Okay.
by K turning around behind him.
And Y-wings with BTL title is not. Y-wings just in general are not a maneuverable ship.
Well, he had vector thrusters on him.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he had vector thrusters on him.
so he was able to barrel.
So he
roll
was
to
able to
help.
barrel roll and move and stuff like that. Made him a lot more maneuverable than you would think. But I was able to catch Cath, roll some nasty hits with all 3 of my ships because I brought them all in.
But if he's vectoring thrusting, he can't focus up or token up at all.
Correct.
So now it's just
Now he didn't do it
dice.
every time, but
Right.
it wasn't enough. And with 3 dice versus 3 dice with Palp, evade token, and focus,
Yeah,
it was
it's
hard to
just
deal
hard to get
defenders
through.
damage.
Yep.
They're so tanky.
Yep.
So that match, I won 100 to, I think 100 to nothing on that one.
Okay. All right, so you're both 2-1 now.
Yep.
Yep, yes we are.
All right, so 4th round.
4th round. I was up against a gentleman named John Acton, local player from the Durham area.
Okay.
And he was running Commonwealth Defenders.
Ah.
This was my very first experience with Defenders. It's what I practiced against the most before going into the tournament.
And who was your practice partner?
Gee, I wonder who.
Yeah, right.
But this was not really a memorable game. It ended within 25 minutes on it. I tabled the poor guy. He was
Oh.
yeah, he was tired. He just wanted to go home.
It's a long day.
It is
Yeah,
long there.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
the 4th round. You're already doing like 5-6 hours of match. If you have to travel, it's like another 2
Yeah,
hours.
he was-
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
felt for the
I
guy
drove
because
up
I
that
met him when I went up to Durham a few months ago.
Okay.
But it was a 200-0 victory for me. It was just,
Okay.
it is what it is.
Okay. All right, so now you're 3-1. Now, what's your 4th round look like?
So my 4th round was against, I want to say Josh.
Okay.
I'm going to look it up while I'm talking about it. So forgive me for not looking at the camera here, but he was flying 2 K-wings. And
Was it the SH Miranda list that I
Yeah,
saw?
yes.
Yeah, that was Josh.
Like complete bomb loadouts. Like nothing but
Oh,
bombs.
so this is just, these are the
This
K-
was bring all the bombs.
Bring all the bombs you
and he
can.
had TLT on both as well.
Oh, wow. So these are like almost like 50-point K-wings.
Oh, yeah.
they were.
They literally were 50 points each. It was really easy to figure out the
He was
points.
talking to me about it before because he found me and he knew I was the K-wing aficionado.
Right, yeah.
He's like, what do you think of this? I'm like, I'm in love.
So
You're talking
I'm
like-
not going to lie. Not too many people around here
Yeah,
fly
we don't play a lot of
K-wings,
K-wings
so,
besides
you.
Blake, yeah.
So I haven't had a chance to get a lot of practice against him, so I really didn't know what to think of the list, and I told him that. I'm like, I have no idea what to do.
Yeah.
So I stalled. I let him come to me, and it worked because he flew, what is it, Essage? He flew Essage in, and then he flew Miranda
I
in.
actually think I was watching this game because my game
You walked
ended.
over, yeah.
I watched it for about 20 minutes.
Yep. So he flew the first one in, and then he flew in with Miranda and bumped into the back.
Yeah,
That right there sealed his fate. He wasn't able to get his assault missiles off because of that. He was never able to get a target lock with Miranda when he needed it.
So that's big.
So he bumped, because he bumped like the first 2-3 times when we were in combat range. And he was out of range 3 at that point in the first round of fire. I was able to fire 2 ships, almost maybe the shuttle too, into his first K-wing.
Okay.
Almost destroyed it completely. He managed to drop a Connor net onto Ryad. Almost killed Ryad. At the end of the game, Ryad had 1 hole left.
she had exactly a whole.
1 hole left. And then luckily I was able to barrel roll after being ionized, and I got out of art. But it came down to him running away with Miranda.
Right.
Me running away with Raya just to save the
I
points.
think
Right.
he thought he had the MOB advantage at that point. I'm not sure what.
Well, I had all my ships on the board,
Yeah.
so it didn't really. I mean, you know, so I don't know what the thinking was, but then I finally started trying to chase him, and he was coming back in around to try and get Ryad, and he finally got Ryad off the board.
Okay.
So that's the one list I lost something besides the shuttle, and it was Ryad
Okay.
for like 35 points or something.
Okay.
But yeah, just not used to playing against bombs. He ion bombed
Those ion
Vessery
bombs are
once.
nasty.
Connor
when
netted.
you execute
Yeah,
them correctly.
and with saving crew,
Yep.
you're dealing an extra damage.
Yep.
So it was.
Yeah.
it was an interesting list to fly against. Only got 50 points off of them, so
Okay.
that was a close game.
So it's almost 50-35 based on the points difference like that. So
yeah,
that was a
something
close
like
game.
That was a close game. Yeah.
All right, so now you guys are both 3-1 after the 4th round. You're going into the 5th round. So
Yep.
now this is when things start getting like, okay, I'm in the 5th round. I'm doing 3-1.
Yeah.
I got 2 more
I mean,
games.
it's-
That's when the nerves like, okay, if I do the
Yeah,
math
we
in
know
my
we
head-
have to like go at least minimum 4-2 with a high MOV, a very high MOV,
Right.
to try and make it to the top 16.
All right, so Blake, your 5th round.
5th round. I've actually got my battle report up here in front of me.
Okay.
It was against Chuck Stockey. He's a player from the Richmond area.
Okay.
So we had a very varied group of players there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, North Carolina.
Yeah, he was
everybody-
flying
yeah.
he was flying a PAL basis list, but it was a different twist on it. He had
Okay.
quick draw.
Quick draw and quick draw. Who else?
Quick draw and Darth Vader.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So quick draw had electronic baffle and push the limit, which I completely underestimated that game.
Really?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
Yeah, Bix went down at the second round of combat because Quickjaw got to attack not once, but twice. And then Vader shot him, and Bix was dead.
Yeah.
And by that point, Kanan lasted a little longer and took Quickjaw. The shuttle and Quickjaw both went down to Kanan.
Okay.
But then Vader got rid of. But then I ejected Hera right before Kanan went down, and then for the next 35 minutes, we had this duel between Hera Syndulla and Darth Vader.
Really?
Where neither of us could get in the arc of each other.
That's right, because Hera's ability is allowed to
Yeah,
change.
And I gave him the initiative to make him move first.
Okay, and you put VI on Hera, so they're both. So you guys
They
are
were
both
both
nines. So he was moving first.
And then
That's not what you want to do with Vader. Vader wants to move last. He
Yeah.
wants to be the arc dodger.
so Vader was moving first, and then I would adjust my maneuver.
Oh,
So
nice.
He couldn't get an arc. I couldn't get him an arc. I think at one point we said, look, if nothing happens here in the next 5 minutes, we're just going to call it as it is here and move on with our day.
So did you finally get Vader or?
No, he finally got Hera. He did a K turn,
Okay.
and then I did a green, and I had no way out
Okay. So
of
you.
his arc. So he got through his 2 hits and a crit with the Vader,
Yeah.
and then Hera blanked, and that was.
So so then you lost Hera. So you lost that game.
Yeah, it was, again, it came down to a ship v ship.
But you got a lot of MOV because
Yeah,
you
a lot
took
of
that-
MOV.
Right. And I think that's when we look at the final results. That's what actually helped. I think Blake get into the position where he
Yeah,
was the
yeah,
high
because heading
MOV.
into the round 6, I had an MOV of 680.
Yeah. Oh, you're already talking. Yeah, that's already. Yeah, that's high up in the MOV
Yeah, that was-
chart.
I think at the very end of the day, I actually had the highest MOV out of all the 4 and 2s.
Out of all the 4 and 2s.
Yeah.
All right, so you're 3-2 right now, and what's your 5th round look like?
So my 5th round was against Abby, who's a regular.
Abby, yes.
For our groups
I want
here.
to point out she just had a very entertaining game against her dad the round before.
Oh God, yeah. So
That
she
game-
actually had to play her dad the round
game was
before.
amazing.
And it came down to like one hole versus one
It was
hole.
an A-wing versus
Manaru.
Manaru with each with a hole left.
So Abby plays a Dengaroo
Yep.
list, and her father Terry plays
Double
a
Ghost
double
A.
Ghost A-wing.
Yep. And they had to play each other the round before I played Abby.
She forgot about feedback array 6 turns in a row.
Yeah, so she could have ended the game a lot sooner.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, we couldn't say anything. We're sitting there going,
feedback array.
but everybody was around their table cheering. It was
Like, it was
like
insane.
Father
Terry was
versus
like-
daughter, that was
Jeremy
awesome.
Howard was standing next
Jeremy
to Terry.
Howard, we had Jeremy Howard, Ben Keller,
and-
Chris Allen,
And
All the guys
Terry
were
was
just
like,
all in.
blow on my dice, blow on my dice.
Yeah.
Yes! So that's how it went back and forth for a while. So I had to play Abby. Dangaroo. I was not looking forward to playing against Dangaroo because it won World, because it's such a strong list.
So surprise, Worlds Dangaroo won.
Yeah, spoiler.
Spoiler, and NC Regionals Dangaroo
Dangaroo
won.
won.
So there's a lot of Dangaroo
Yep.
being powerful now.
Dangaroo won another regional.
I think it was Omaha.
Omaha.
I think they won Omaha.
Yeah. So
I have a funny feeling Bosk is going to get something.
You mean Zuckus?
Or Zuckus, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zuckus is going to
I
get
don't think it's
errated.
Zuckus that is the problem. I think
It
it's
is.
Manaru.
No, I think it's Zuckus.
It's got to be Zuckus.
And I
all the
fly it,
stress
so-
tokens, the pile of stress tokens.
All right, that's for another day.
Yeah.
So, flying against Dangaroo, I did the same setup, opposite corner versus Manaru. Actually, I'm sorry. I set up straight across from Manaru.
Okay.
She was parallel to the edge of the board, running, down the edge. I set up in the opposite corner, 45, with my the same setup I was doing the entire.
So the Jeremy special.
The Jeremy
Jeremy
Howard.
Howard. We're gonna call it because as soon as I saw your setup on the first round I played at Worlds, I told Nims when I got home. I said you have to see this setup.
So he showed me, and obviously it worked pretty well because I made it to the top 16.
Yep.
So
It worked better than the originator.
yeah.
Yep.
So Dengar, she brought Dengar around in. Manaru went this way. Dengar came this way and came in to come at my shuttle. I traded a few shots.
Right.
Double shots from Dengar. And then almost in the corner of the board, I managed to get my shuttle in and had Dengar blocked. Very similar to how you and I ended up.
Yeah.
So Dengar could not get out of that maneuver without risking running off the board. So my shuttle would go either a 1 forward or a 1 bank and then stall every turn. One stall, one stall. And literally kept Dengar locked right there in the corner of
In
the
that
board.
corner of the board.
And I was close enough with Ryad to where I could keep 5K'ing because there was debris, and I didn't want to keep landing on it. But I kept 5K'ing to one side and back.
So
Just
I'm going to
K-turn
show this
back and
picture.
forth.
This is what he sent me when he was saying you were playing that, right?
So that's
The turn
This is
before.
the turn before. I don't know if you can see here. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can tell because of the glare there, but that's the turn before, and then Dengar did like a 1 forward, and I had stalled with the shuttle and blocked, and just kept Dengar there the whole time. Kept 5K in with Ryad, just plink, 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 plink. Brought Vessi up and around and back in. Vessi was down to like 1 hole at this point, and proceeded to finish Dengar off.
Right.
By that time, Abby realized what I was doing. She had finally started to bring
Bring
Manaru in.
back around.
And instead of going after the shuttle to get half points, she tried to get Vessery down. I think finally took Vessery down. And then, I was wrong. So it wasn't the match against Josh that I lost Ryad. It was this match against Abby that I lost Vessery. So Josh, I got 100 to 50. In this match, I lost Vessery, and she wasn't able to get the shuttle down to half.
Okay.
I
Really?
think, yeah,
Oh, that's right, because you were locked.
we were locked the whole time, and I think we might have gone to time. I'm not sure. I don't remember, honestly. Sorry about that.
But Abby is she's a phenomenal.
She's a great player.
Dangaroo
She
player.
knows that
Great
list
player.
inside
Knows
and out.
that
She knows how to
list.
fly.
She plays that list all the time.
Yeah.
Our joke that we had throughout the tournament is Terry created a practice partner.
Yeah, literally.
He made one.
So I played Abby in, I think it was, I want to say a couple months back when Dangaroo just came out, the whole concept of it. And I played in a tournament. I had my Double Ghost Y. And she was just started playing that list. I won that match.
Wait, what's
but
this tournament?
This was it was at Madhouse Games.
Because her and I played in a tournament back in our hometown in Winston.
Yep.
About late May. That was our very first showing with Dingaroo.
So
Yeah, this was
Shortly
it was like shortly thereafter. It was like a couple
few
months
weeks
back.
after,
Yeah.
because I beat her with my very, very outdated list at this point. The Narrowdown Essage, and the White.
Yeah. I just barely won that match. But
So Darren, you're right. I'm sorry, we were wrong. Desi and Echo won Omaha, so it was either San Diego or Milwaukee that Dangaroo won.
Something else. I know something else won Milwaukee, because I know a Dash Po list won a regional somewhere.
Milwaukee. But anyway, so you played Abby. You won against her.
Yep.
So now you're
now I'm 5-1.
no,
I'm
4-1.
4-1.
4-1, and you're
3-2.
3-2. All right. So last round of Swiss.
I'm in a must-win situation
yes.
right now.
So what happened? What would you play against?
All right, so I played a gentleman named Brian Harper. Yeah, Brian Harper, and he had a very interesting list.
Okay.
It was a party bus,
Okay.
and then he had another Cavill,
Okay. Another
but
Cavill.
this one had Auto Blaster turret.
Interesting with Cavill. Wow.
Yeah.
Extra die.
VI Auto Blaster
It's a
with
3.
Vectored Instincts and
Extra
Unhinged
oh.
Astromech, and then we had Finral with Finral things.
Fenral things.
Push the limit. Concord Dawn Protector and Auto Thrusters. Now, I looked at this and I'm like, I really got to slow my wrist out of here to see where he's going.
Right.
And what he did is he angled the party bus towards me
Okay.
because I set up generally at a corner.
Right.
So he angled the party bus and started moving it slowly towards the corner. And he took Cavill and Finn round way around.
Okay.
So I had rocks set up here like I always try to get a lane.
Yeah.
So they were going the long way. And when I noticed that, I just gunned it for the party bus.
Okay.
And that party bus went down within 3 rounds.
With the double tap.
Double
And
tap.
Biggs.
Biggs
Yep.
was on fire all day.
Yeah. Your Biggs with R2D2 loadout is like it's. Remember that one match that we had? It was the last stream match we had. Was like the last strip on the
was
board,
the
which
last
you
strip
never
on the board.
see. With
No,
Biggs.
but then Finn Rao got around, and then he realized the problem. He can't get Finn Rao within range 1 of my Ghost with Auto Blaster.
Auto
Yeah.
Blaster turrets.
You'll die.
So he sent Cavill in instead, and Cavill immediately died. And then he's like, crap, I got to do something.
Right.
Because I had scooted Biggs away, and it was Kanan versus Finn Rao.
Okay.
And he made a mistake on a boost that put him into range 1. And so the Auto Blasters brought him down to a hull point.
Oh no, he didn't.
And then the next round, I scooted Kanan 1-4, and he's like, well, there's no auto thrusters. He revealed his maneuver, and he did like a 1 bank, but he had no way to get range 3.
Okay.
So Finn Rao went down, and I had myself a 100-0 victory,
Nice.
which secured me into the top 16 with a 4-2 record and an 880 MOV. I was the top performing Rebel player of the day.
Yep. And you were 10th overall.
I was 10th overall. I actually had the 5th best MOV of the entire day.
That's interesting, and you came in. I like how the standings go like that. All right, so last round for you, Joe. You're 4-1.
Yep. So I'm 4-1.
This
and
game is legendary over here.
So we get the pairings. Atomic Empire did a really good job on the pairings. They were using warscore.net.
Which is something I'll be using for tournaments now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you get the pairings automatically to your smartphone.
Yep.
So you didn't have to wait for them to post it.
you didn't have to
in
crowd
a line.
around this
yeah.
pole.
It was great. You just could scroll on your phone, see who was next. It had all the standings on there and everything. It was awesome.
And if you're logged in and create an account, it automatically tells you can lights up your name, tells you where you got to go.
Yeah, that too. So I've got it on my phone. That's how I'm getting all my notes here. But so lo and behold, I'm scrolling through the thing. I'm looking for my name, and none other do I see that I'm playing Jeremy Howard. Which, if you guys watch the Worlds recap, that's who Berto played in his first round in Worlds.
Yep.
I'm playing in the last round of Swiss in
And
regionals.
Jeremy is a phenomenal player.
And so when I talked to Jeremy that morning, he was like, "Yeah, I missed the last couple here. I'm back to reclaim my
He
title."
was so determined.
Oh, he was very determined.
yeah, he was very
He's a
determined.
very nice guy, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, great guy. Awesome to talk with. He was giving me shit the entire time we were playing. He kept going juke, sensor jammer, whatever. Even though he didn't have
Everyone
it.
who's joking
And I'm
around.
like, oh okay. Because I'm like, oh, why would I not believe him? That's
I mean, to
Jeremy
be
Howard.
fair, we were,
Yeah.
throughout the majority of the day, a lot of us were just extreme shit talking Jeremy.
Oh yeah,
It was
absolutely,
great.
absolutely.
So I'm flying, his start off.
And he's playing the same list that he played at Worlds.
Yeah, so it was
Yeah.
a Megaliter Vessery and Palp with Sensor Jammer.
Yep. Which is a nasty list.
It is
especially-
very
Yep.
nasty. I knew my thought pattern was, I've got to take out a Megaliter first.
Whatever
Yep.
thought pattern he could get, because I was taunting him. Because
No, not yet. This was right when it started. I mean, I was so stressed. I'm like, okay, And I even asked Jeremy, I said, if I lose, could I still make the finals by MOV? And he's like, I have no idea. I'm like, okay. So, because honestly, I went into that thinking I was going to lose. I'm like, okay, this player is better than me. He's been playing a lot longer.
Yep.
I'm just going to do what I can do and see what
I'm
happens.
sitting over there table way going, go, Joe.
Yeah, he's like, he's like, it's just another Thursday night.
Just
It's
another
just another
Thursday
Thursday night. I'm like, okay, shut up, Blake.
So the funny part about that, though, is what we just said before is when I played Jeremy Howard, he played that Palp Omega Vessery list.
Omega Vessery.
And I was telling Joe, because Jeremy's opening for that list.
Yep. And that's what he said to me when he's like, Berto told you how I play.
Oh, he did.
And I said, yes, he did. And I said, thanks, it's worked quite well for me, as you can see. So he's like, that's fine. I'll trust the dice. So
so dice was not in his
dice
favor.
were not in his favor. So I stalled and let him come to me. My target was to go after a Mega Leader first, because if he's got me locked, I can't do anything.
Right.
So I would say in the jerk list, you got Carnor Jax, then Omega Leader, and then whatever.
Oh, Omega
Okay.
Leader is I hate Omega Leader with that.
I hate Jax worse, and we'll get into that. But so, end of the day, he's flying. This is the last, he's on a couple hours of sleep. He's got a cold, all this stuff. So he brings a Mega Leader in. I fire. He rolls all blanks.
No.
I've got a Mega Leader down to like between Vessery and Riot. I've got a Mega Leader with 1 damage on after the first or second round of shooting.
Oh.
And he rolled blanks, and he was like,
Yeah,
there's
do
nothing
that.
you could do at that point.
That's what me at Worlds with my attack dice.
Yep.
I don't have green dice with ghosts.
So then he proceeds to, we make some moves and stuff like that. He goes after my shuttle. My shuttle gets some crits that take me out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I take his shuttle down shortly thereafter.
I think this is the point where I showed
And then
up.
you walked over
and
right before that.
I was right before that. I'm like, Jeremy, do you need me to start whispering, just whispering in his ear to get him messed up? And Jeremy's like, yeah, do that.
Yeah.
And Joe was like, go away, Blake.
So at this point, he's got Vessery. After I kill his shuttle, he's got Vessery full health, a Mega Leader with
Hurting bad.
1 damage.
Okay.
So he's got 2 hull left on a Mega Leader.
Where were you at?
I had a full Riot and a full Vessery.
And your
or
shuttle?
close to it. Shuttle was off the board now.
Okay.
He took out my shuttle first, then I took out his.
Okay.
Then I proceeded to go after a Mega Leader. I had to kind of split my fire at times just because of opportunity.
Right.
But eventually I got a Mega Leader down, and then it was a matter of chasing his Vessery across the board.
Right.
He was like, I'm not going to make it easy for you. And so he's literally running away. I'm like, come on. I got you dead to rights. Even if we go to time.
But he's playing for MOV too.
But he was playing for MOV
Right.
at this time. So eventually I chased down his Vessery, and I think he gets direct hit and something else, and that's game. I had 2 ships left and took
So you
his out.
avenged me.
And I was finally
My
allowed
first
to come
text,
back
yeah.
and
My
congratulate him.
first text to Berto was, I avenged you.
I also texted Berto this. Joe did what you could not.
Yeah, he did.
Which was go 5-1 instead of 1-5.
Yeah.
Ouch.
And beat Jeremy
It's
Howard.
too soon. It's too soon. It's too soon.
So pretty much that was the highlight of that first day for me was getting a 5-1 record.
Which is phenomenal.
At regionals.
Yep.
And playing a well-known player and doing well when I didn't think I was going to.
So Blake, you're 4-2. You're 5-1. Now the cut was going to be the next day.
Yep.
Correct.
So, Olsen, now you're waiting for the list and waiting for the results, and then you guys, I think you texted me, I got 7th.
Yep.
And then he texted me, I got 10th.
Yep.
And I'm like, you guys are playing each other. You know that, right?
God.
And
So-
we looked at it like, oh, God.
Yeah, so
I'm
at
like
dinner,
7
we're sitting
plays
there,
10 in the top
we went
16.
We went out for Mexican after that, and we're looking at it going, yeah, we're going to play
Play each other, yep.
Yeah.
So the next day comes in. So now you guys made top 16.
Yep.
Which if anybody who plays X-Wing knows, especially competitively, top 16 regionals, top 8, top 4, winning, it's hard to do.
Yeah.
So top 16, you guys are playing each other.
Yep.
This always stinks when you're playing somebody you always play with.
And that's what I said too. I said, the whole time I'm like, I think there's 20 plus of us from the Charlotte area there.
Yeah, it was
we
actually
were
a good
we were
showing.
almost a quarter, if not more, of the
We
people
got
there.
6 players into the
Yeah,
top
6 of
16.
us made the top 16. And we said, I said the entire time, I hope I don't have to play any of you guys until the finals. What I meant was I hope I don't have to play any of you guys until the top 4. Top 16, Blake and I are paired up. AJ and Jonathan are paired up. A couple other people that, are locals to us all got paired up.
Oh, really?
So,
I mean, somebody's going home.
well, yeah, at that point.
Yeah, someone was going home.
Yep.
So, and I was more stressed out about this match with Blake than I was probably the match with Jeremy.
And you
Howard.
were. I think you both were texting me. Ironically, they were both sitting there texting me back and forth. Like I think like somebody said, I'm scared of him, and the other one goes,
Well, that
I
wasn't
really
me.
don't want
I
to
didn't
play
say
with him.
Yeah,
I didn't, that's why I didn't say one. I didn't mention names. So
Oh, no,
Blake,
I'm not gonna say.
yeah, Blake said, I'm scared of his list. I think something like that effect. And then I'm like, just it's another Thursday night. Just play
But
each
you
other.
built, you tweaked your list because of me.
Yeah, I tweaked it.
Yeah.
Yep.
4 defenders, and it's nasty.
And every time you played his list, like you only beat him like one
I beat
time.
you when you didn't have this list.
Yeah.
Which is a very like what was the variation before that?
It didn't have Zeb.
It didn't have Zeb. I was trying Ray Rex back, and it just did not work.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the match started off, and this is top 16. That means one of us is moving on to top 8 at this point, and the other person, it's the end of the day.
I was lined up. We had the rocks where we had a couple of different lanes.
I was trying to not give you wide open lanes.
I had 2 wide open lanes to pick from.
Right.
I knew that you would go for my shuttle first because it's just the smart thing to do.
Right.
So I played knowing that. And then I stalled like I was the rest of the day and tried to make him come into me. But my thought behind it, which maybe we shouldn't talk about this too much because we're about to play a rematch. Actually, tell you what. Let's not talk about it.
All right.
Let's play the rematch.
Let's play the
and then
rematch,
we'll
then
do a
we'll-
recap after the match.
So but before you guys go into it though, so when you guys are playing, you're trying to outsmart each other. You play each other all the time,
Yep.
which is always hard when you're playing.
That's you and I know.
Yeah, exactly. We go in a tournament and we're wanting to playing each other. We're like, really? Because we know our thought patterns. We
That was
know
our
what we're
joke.
thinking
Like,
about.
We can't, no matter what tournament we go to, no matter how many people.
One of us is playing.
both
Somebody
would
would
So
play.
what happened? What was the deciding point? I know there was a critical mistake, or just an opportunity, or however you want to call it.
The critical mistake was of my end.
Okay.
You thought I
And
was going to
I
bump.
expected the shuttle to either bump into my ghost.
Okay.
So what?
Or-
So to give them an idea, bottom right-hand corner where I started from.
Okay.
Say I did the same thing that I did against Dengaroo. I bumped him very close to the corner of the board
Right.
with the shuttle, knowing full well that he had Zeb.
Okay.
So I went
You
into
bumped.
the shuttle.
Yep. You bumped into the shuttle, and then my thought behind it was, he thinks I'm gonna stall.
And that was exactly my thought. Like, he's
Yep.
going to stall because that's exactly what he did to me the previous Sunday.
So instead of
okay.
stalling, I did a 3 bank to the left and got the hell out of dodge.
And that,
And you did a 1 bank to the
To
left,
left.
towards the edge
So
of the
you're
board.
the edge of the board.
facing towards the corner.
Yeah.
So how come you didn't, Blake? How come what was your thought pattern with that 1 bank to the left instead of
it was
either like a 1 bank
it
to the
either
right or?
bumps me. I also thought that if, in the off chance I clear it, I really and truly thought that I had the angle to get back on the board the next turn. I really and truly thought that.
Because Nims and I, we were talking back and forth, like, because when he was telling me, I'm like, and we were going back and forth, I'm like, that's, Nim said, I don't want to win like that. That's not how I want to win. But I'm like, so I asked him, I said, so, I mean, how did he fly off the board? I mean, he flies the ghost all the time. How did he fly off the board? And like, and then the next day at work, he was showing me, and I'm like, I said, did he
You
think
thought
that
I was going to bump, so
I said
you
he
would
probably
have
took the
had
bump.
the,
I said,
the
but
next
even
move to
but even
figure
if
it
he
out.
didn't bump, let's say if he did move out of the way, he thought he had enough room.
Yeah.
So it was just a slight misjudge.
And you wanted to keep your back arc open
The back
for...
arc needed to be
Yeah.
facing towards the inside of the
facing
board.
towards that shuttle particularly, but I also didn't anticipate where Bessie was going to go either.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Also threw me off.
I did... Yeah, because I did a 5 straight right behind you.
Okay.
Just trying to token up.
But again, the whole premise was I truly expected him to bump the shuttle.
And that's why you didn't jump the shuttle, but pop your shuttle out or Phantom out either, because you wanted that extra shot on Vessery.
I needed that extra shot at that point.
Yeah. See,
Okay.
I had to go through him. I knew he was going to have shots on me either way. Where I was positioned with Vessery, if I would have done a 3 bank or 3 hard to the left, I would have either hit bigs or I would have gone through the debris and I wouldn't have been able to double token. I would have gotten my fade, but I wouldn't have been able to get my focus, which is what I wanted.
Okay.
And
So then right after that, after you flew the ghost off the board with the shuttle on it, it was like pretty much game. I mean,
yeah,
I
he
conceded
called it.
immediately.
so you could see
It was he might have been able to take out Vessery, but it would have been a hard fought battle to try and take out Riot and the shuttle.
with bigs left, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Even with the regen,
It
it's
would have
gonna
been a hard battle.
be
And honestly, I probably would have just ran away and
just go for the time. All right, so that stinks because I mean, did you guys get anything for top 16? You got those little tokens, right?
Yes, we did.
what'd you get?
16. There's the top 64 prize. It's a alternate art red ace card.
Nice.
so
And it's
we
very
both got
sweet.
those.
And our top 16 prize are these little thermal detonator tokens.
Yep,
Thermal detonator.
they're pretty cool.
How's it like that?
What else? Now you got some door prizes too, didn't
I
you?
did, yeah.
Oh,
and
what'd you get?
actually-
What'd you get? What'd you
actually,
get?
I'm really good friends with the people up there in the Durham area. So Chris Allen, I was talking to him because he had this whole room set up where he was streaming and everything. He's like,
Chris from Crate, right? Crate Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
and he's like, hey, you want one of these cards? Like, I can't remember where you got them from. But I'm like, yeah, I'll take the high roller, and it was Zeta Leader.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Something different.
Yep. And at the very end of the tournament, my friend Jacob the Falls let me keep this.
Oh, is that the plastic one?
That's the
nice.
plastic. This is a plastic.
credit
big
card I
Starfighter
call-
card, extended art.
Oh yeah.
So I got to keep that from the weekend. That he let me borrow it and then let me keep it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool. Nice. Yeah, because we couldn't get together because I was going to give you the Paul LaRue Biggs alt, but I left it home at that time when we did the Wednesday. And I'm like, and I'm not going to the regionals. All right, so your loss. You lost that match, Blake. So, but you still top 16,
Top 16.
Top 10. Yeah,
top
you
10.
made
Well, you
10.
were in the 10th
Hit-
place,
hit
right?
tops- and I took away from it as I was the best performing Rebel player at that event.
I'll take that.
By far and away.
Rebel
I'll
love,
take that
yep.
all day.
So you go on top 8.
Yep.
And you get, what do you get for top 8 right off the
So,
bat?
For top 8,
Yeah.
I got some nice little sparkly
Just
dice.
crushed me 'cause
Sparkly
they were-
dice.
I was still sitting there because I was
That's a
pretty
lot
upset.
of glitter.
That is a lot of glitter. They're nice and sparkly.
And they passed these around, and I'm sitting there just really upset with myself, and I'm like, oh, God.
That's the dice. And that's what everybody wants is that dice. I mean, one, they're worth something. Actually, selling these dice because you only get them if you make the top 8,
Yep.
or
Or
top
you buy
4,
'em.
or you buy them on eBay for like
But then if
$300.
you're local and you show up with a pair of dice or a set of dice that everybody knows you didn't win,
Yeah, exactly. You can't do that.
they're like,
yeah.
oh, yeah, I can't hide money.
No. Exactly. All right, so you're going into top 8.
Yep.
And so you got the match that I know you said, like, I was really concerned with playing Blake. Now you see Carnor Jax, you see
Merrick Steele.
Merrick Steele, which is an interesting combination.
It was
and
a
the Pal-
nasty combination, let me tell you that. So, right off the bat, I
And
made
who was
the-
this? And this was Ben, right?
Ben Keller.
Ben Keller.
Ben Keller is also Crate, right?
Yep.
He's also great, yeah.
Yep.
So, awesome player, really cool guy.
Yep.
Started off, I made a mistake
Right off the bat, yep.
On my first move with my shuttle, I picked a stall instead of a bump, threw off my entire opening.
Because that whole opening depends on you bumping
Exactly.
and keeping that shuttle in the corner
Now,
for a couple
it
turns.
was on the stream from Atomic Empire. We've got a link to
Links in the
that
description.
down in the description. I had to kind of finagle an opening after that.
Which I was watching. You know, it's funny too. Like they had your match up, and they said, Joe Janelle, Sling Paint. And I'm sitting there, I'm like watching the match, I'm watching the opening, and that's when you texted me. I'm looking at the opening, I'm like, no, Joe, wait, what? What'd
Yeah.
that do? I'm like, why is that stress token going
Yeah,
down?
I went over to his table, and I was really confused at what was going on. I'm like, this isn't normal.
Blake, afterwards, Blake's like, that's an opening I haven't seen you do before. And I'm like, yeah, that's an opening I've never done before. So came down to it. My thought pattern was I got to take out Jax first. I'm not going to be able to use any tokens if I don't. Needless to say, that did not work. He caught Vessery and Riot at range 1 with Jax. He unloaded with Jax into Vessery and then stripped all my shields. And then Merrick Steele.
And just so everybody knows, Carner Jacks is enemy ships at range 1 cannot perform focus or evade actions and cannot spend focus or evade tokens.
So that renders a defender useless.
Yeah. And so you can, because
it gives you 6 agility. That's 6 hit points. That's it. Now you can palp.
And you could
But
still
that's it.
you could still get the evade from the 3 turn because it's not an action.
You just can't use it.
But you can't use it.
Yeah.
Which
So
it shuts it down.
Needless to say, he wiped Vessery off the board before I can even
saw
shoot.
that. I saw
That-
Jax.
that was the end.
And Merrick Steele. And then I saw the dice roll, and I'm like, there goes Vessery.
Vessery was gone before he could even shoot.
Yep, like the third, fourth round of play was gone.
At the end, I flew Riot okay. The shuttle got in some shots. I took his shuttle off the board, but that was it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing else I could do at that point.
Once you lost the combination between Vessery and Ryad.
Yep, against Jax and Steele, there was just no.
And I saw like you were dealing those crits, and he can pick one of those crits. Merrick Steele's ability. Yep.
So it was nasty. I made a mistake. Who knows how it would have ended had I flown and opened the way I wanted to.
Yep.
But
Who knows how it would have ended if the rightful top 8 player had been there.
Oh, well, we're going to see that next, coming up here.
We're going to have a rematch,
We're gonna have
an
a
actual
rematch.
match to see what the outcome maybe would have been.
All right, so a lot of people saying pretty cards. Seamus goes, I've bought several things on eBay, but not dice. Connor stops the spending tool. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is.
Jax is nasty.
The amount of anti-defender lists that I saw there was really impressive.
Yeah.
And I actually think that the amount of anti-defender list.
And I'm actually, let me do this. Let me pull this up. I wanted to show, this is an article. Let me pull this up here. This is an article that says it's not such a bad pilot myself. .com is the website. We have the link in the description below. This is the North Carolina regional meta. I wanted to show you guys see this. Let me see if I can make this bigger here. Can I make this bigger?
And everything on this little pie chart here is a list that went 4 and 2 or better.
Was it? Here's the data before the top 16 eliminations. No, this is actually all the lists. I think this is all
this
the.
is just the list that went 4 and 2 or better. I asked the guy that because I was confused on it. He's like, everything that went 4 and 2 or better is in here.
Oh, okay. But take a look at this. Right off the bat, you see Old Fenaroo, which is Old Turok, Fenrau, and Manaru combination, and you can see that with the Tiny Mind Link set up or not. But
there was a lot.
Manaru
there was
passing.
A ton of them.
Yeah, it's a great combination.
Of offshoots too, with like Cavill or another Scum Ace in there besides Old Turok or Fenrau.
But check this out: Palp Aces making a comeback.
Yep.
All right. So Palp Aces, Darth Vader, Soontir, Jack, whatever the combinations are, Omega Leader.
Palp and 2 ships.
Yeah. And then Commonwealth Defenders are right there
Which
with
is
the
what
third.
I flew. Yeah.
Right. Then you got all these other lists, which I'm not going to go into detail.
Yep.
But
Decimator and an Ace. Rear Admiral Shiranu.
All right.
However
And
you
then
pronounce that.
Kanan Biggs is what you were flying.
That's what I was flying.
Yep. Dengaroo, which is in there, and then like all these other lists. You have Omega Leader, Quick Draw, Backdraft.
It's incredibly varied meta there.
Yeah, I mean, but it's very Scum heavy, Scum and Imperial heavy.
And I would say, Joe, and you can corroborate with this with me, I think a majority of the list, a good 60%, a good 40 to 50% of all the lists there were Scum.
Oh, yeah. I
Absolutely,
guarantee it.
yeah.
Yep.
And it was like, after that, it was like 30 to 40% Imperialist, and I think Rebels only cracked like.
So well, here let's
20%.
do this. I'm going to pull up List Juggler right here. So this is also linked in the description below this video. So List Juggler here. This is Jonathan. So let's go right over. Jonathan Lohman. He's
One of our group. Yep, one of
local
ours.
Charlotte area. Ben Keller's the Craig Cup. You got Brian Slow,
Which is technically Winston area, but we'll consider him one of ours.
Yep. Also Andrew, Charlotte
one of
area.
ours.
We want to consider Brian Solon of ours after his antics on stream.
Yeah, good point.
All right, so let's we'll table that for another topic. Everybody can have an off day. Andrew, then Tyler, then Simon, which is one of our guys here. So Simon flies the TIE Swarm, right? He flies different variations, like 5-ship swarm with different pilots and stuff. He brought. I didn't notice. He brought Omega Leader with Backdraft and Quick Draw.
Yep.
And I'm like, only 3 ties. And he went 5. Was it 5 and 1? I think he went.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think he went Swiss rank. He was 6th overall in the Swiss rank with 3
Yeah,
we
him
had
and
two
I
tie SFs.
actually had the exact same MOV.
Yep.
So I'm not sure how they figured out the placement there.
All right, and then you got Joe Janelle,
Which
which
is
you
me.
said, yep.
Straight to schedule.
Jason,
But mine was
Chuck,
higher.
Blake was 10th, Sam, Lee, Miles, and then we also got what are we looking for? Oh, Matt's over there. Yeah, and then you got so one of the I think the people couldn't make it, and then Adam actually AJ who actually kicked up into
Yeah.
the round, so he's also from us.
Yeah, so Nate was the one that dropped.
Nate, okay. Ryan, who's one of our local guys, that I think is in
No, he's one of the local Durham guys.
Durham guys, but he's also a Sling Paint watcher. He's also got our tokens. I know Ryan. He also gave us those cool alt
Yep,
cards,
yep.
right? Yeah,
Appreciate that, Ryan. Thank you very much.
But look at this. I mean, this is
There's Jeremy Howard.
Jeremy Howard, Jacob. Daniel's from our local guy. Alvin's from the Green is
And
it
Alvin
Greensboro area?
started out his day 3-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that list was going to be Old Turok, Fenneru,
It's the
Manaru.
same list that Brian was flying.
Yeah, it's a nasty list. But I mean, this if you guys check out the list structure, you can see all
sometimes
the
you get
lists
good
in here.
matchups, sometimes you don't. So
And the championship overall was the Dangaroo. I switched the championship. Ben took the second place with Marek Steel Carnajax, the one that you beat you.
yep.
But then, like I said, I mean, AJ got 4th overall, which was awesome from our area. You stayed in the 7th place, and Blake, you stayed in 10th place. So, but I mean, it was just a phenomenal, overall, regionals. I mean, I think it was just a lot of scum love.
Yep.
But what do you guys? Did you guys learn anything out of that, from that matchups and
Double
lists and
check
stuff?
your dials before you say you're ready.
Don't assume that the shuttle's going to bump.
Yeah, make sure you can always make that right-hand turn. Yes, the ghosts are.
Get in your opponent's head and mess with them so they think you're going to do things you're not.
I think I'm gonna bump. Yes,
Yeah,
I'm gonna bump.
I'm gonna bump.
right.
You're not going to bump.
So, what? The Thriller from Manila, or whatever. We're gonna do another rematch of the top 16 match that you guys had. We're
Yep.
playing the exact same lists. We're gonna stop the stream. If you guys have questions or comments, definitely leave them below. We'll definitely make sure we answer them.
Yep, hang out for a little bit, go get some snacks, and come back and watch our rematch.
Yes. All right. Seamus is saying Blake's gonna win.
Yes.
There's a good chance.
All right. Who else? I don't know what else everybody else thinks is gonna win or not, but.
Take your bets now.
Hedge your bets. About 15, 20 minutes, we'll get the stream started up again. You guys will get an alert if you're a subscriber to us. And make sure on that side where Blake's privates are, you make sure you hit subscribe button, maybe a little bit higher. Also, check out our...
Touch the button.
If you touch the button, hit the subscribe button hard. Knock it on the nut. And there goes the camera. All right. Oh, Jacob's here. What's up, Jacob? Definitely what we want to do is do the rematch. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff. Check out our Sling Paint store. Help support us buying the tokens and T-shirts. Help support us and keeps us doing what we hear, and also all the lights and what have you. All the pretty lights. And
Yeah,
bells and
we need
whistles.
more support so we can put stuff behind us so it doesn't look like we're on a green screen.
Yeah, you know what? We should put like a space.
we should just do the
screen.
green
Guys
screen.
saying I should bring my life-size Harrison Dula cardboard cutout here.
Harrison, you have a Harrison Dooley?
I have
You have a
li-
life-size?
I have a life-size Harrison Dula cardboard.
What do you do late at night
I don't
with a
know that I would've
life-size?
said that.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Blake and I have already said that we have a mutual love. Like, I think Hera broke up with Blake, then I was picking up Hera for a while.
And then I brought her back.
And you brought her back, so we're like dating Harrison Dula.
That's why we're sitting behind a green
Yes,
thing.
exactly.
They like green.
And that's why Nims is between us, because.
All right, we're out.
Yep.
All right. Scott says Imperial March, so he thinks the Defenders are going to do it. So
right.
we're going to do the rematch. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Don't go get somewhere. Go to the bathroom, get some coffee, get some whatever. We're going to do a live match up here. And then afterwards, I have a local challenger here that challenged me to the Baby Blues. He's going to fly a
he's still
similar
here.
list. Yeah, I think he's going to still be here. We're going to see. He's a youngster that just started getting into X-Wing. So the second
youngling.
match, a youngling, yes. He wants to play some X-Wing. He heard that we were on YouTube. He's a great guy. John's son. He was going to,
Yep.
so we're going to get that action going too after the rematch. All right.
Okay.
Stay tuned. Rematch coming up in a few. I'm going to hit this button and hopefully it cancels everything out. Bye,
you guys.
guys.
Good to be back.
Oh, and thanks for Chris over at Play It Again in Concord, North Carolina for letting us stream here. Blake, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
And Nims, I'm so glad you're back.
I'm so glad to be
So
back.
happy
I
to
know
have
you
you
all
back.
missed me.
All right, bye, guys.
See you next.